Alright, so apparently someone made a Spiral Knights iceberg. So I'm just gonna go through this quickly and list everything that I know, because I actually don't know a lot of the things down here. Alright, Sega ownership. Obviously the game used to be owned by Sega and then was transferred to Grey Havens. TF2 hat, there's a hat you can unlock in TF2 by, I think, getting to a clockwork terminal. I'm not sure what exactly the requirements are, but there's a hat you can unlock in TF2 from playing Spiral Knights. Chalk 3 weapon demonstrations, some YouTube videos of demonstrating various weapons in the game. Snorlax's bell bug. It's the bell in the Snorlax fight is really buggy. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think it's more about the Snorlax himself. I think how it works is that the Snorlax has iframes during some parts of his animation, but I'm not sure exactly what causes it. The Steam friend mask, if you invite, I think, 5 players on your Steam's friend list to play the game, you'll unlock a mask. Infinite Crown Generator, 2011 working. I think this is just scene hopping, unless there's another exploit that I'm unaware of. I'm pretty sure this is just scene hopping, because there is a scene that literally just has crowns on like a respawn panel, and you're able to just like generate crowns from going to that scene. But I'm pretty sure this is just scene hopping. Death of an MMO is currently the most popular Spiral Knights video that isn't a trailer or something official. I'm not sure what Black Dog is. I'm pretty sure this is just referring to Snorlax, but I've never heard anyone use that term. Charge out of shield is a piece of tech. Basically, if you hold up your shield, hold down your attack button, and then put down your shield, you'll instantly start charging up a weapon without needing to attack. I think Gempire is a guild. I don't know. I've never heard of them actually. I've vaguely heard about them, but I'm not sure. I've never seen the guild, if it is a guild. Supply depot sales, items will occasionally just go on sale in the supply depot. A lot of the times it's items that are already in the supply depot on a discount, but occasionally Grey Havens will put items, like rare items, on there. Apocrypha Stairs clip. During the Shroud of Apocrypha event, there are obsidian obelisks in Haven, and pieces of obsidian just like around town square. And if you walk into some part of the the props on the stairs, it'll clip you into the stairs and you can just sit there inside the stairs. Elevator dash tech. I wouldn't really call it tech because it doesn't really speed up anything, but if you dash or shield bash over an elevator, your character will still move across the whole thing while still interacting with it. And what'll happen is the elevator will go down the floor without you being on it. It's just a funny animation thing. Royal Jelly Palace 4th Gate tech. I'm not sure what this one's referring to. And this is one of the problems I have with this iceberg, is that a lot of things, not everything, but there are a handful of things listed on this iceberg that are like really poorly worded, or they're so vague that only like the person who wrote them down would know it. For example, there is one down here that's like really dumb. Like yeah, this one right here, 1,000 boxes, no totem. Obviously this is referring to slime block boxes and not getting a somnambulist totem. But it's like nobody would know this unless you were the one opening those boxes, or if you told somebody else you were opening those boxes. There isn't a way for like someone to figure this out. It's just like some random thing that happened to one person. It's kind of like if I took this list and wrote down like 34 charge attacks, no curse. Nobody's gonna know what that means. I know what it means, because it means that I've done, I think, 34 Grand Foss charge attacks once without getting cursed a single time. But it's like no one's gonna know that except me, or if I directly tell somebody else that happened. So yeah, I'm not sure what the 4th gate is. There are many gates and none of them are numbered. Which one's the 4th? Which one's the 1st? I don't know. I'm sure this is like something really obvious that I already know, but this is just really vague and poorly worded, so I don't know what exactly they're referring to here. Meowcat is a rare monster that can spawn in place of a regular Spook Cat. Impasta Cube is a rare monster that can spawn in place of a Jelly Cube. Lockdown player drama. Who plays Lockdown? I wouldn't know this. So few people play Lockdown. Nobody's gonna know what this means. Divine Avenger bug. This also applies to Grand Faust and Antiguas. If you're against a wall, the hitbox, the projectile of Divine Avenger will interact with the wall behind you and hit it instead of flying forward, which is really annoying because it's not optimal to use in close quarters. Vogster SK. I think this is a YouTuber. I'm not sure. I vaguely heard of that name. Rinth Shadowlayers. Another YouTuber. He's done a lot of different videos, mainly Shadowlayers. Rework Shard Bombs. Shard Bombs used to fire, I think, 6 projectiles in different directions. And then they reworked them at some point to fire like shards that explode at a delay, and they're really bad now. Weapon switching is a tech that you can that allows you to cancel weapon reload animations by switching your weapon. Iron Hills NFTs. Iron Hills was a project formed by some people of the Spiral Knights community. Their plan was to obtain the Spiral Knights IP by selling NFTs. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. It sounds like a joke, but that's really what happened. The F2 menu is a bug report menu that you can open at any time in game. I'm pretty sure it does nothing, but it exists if you just press F2. Gate Map Viewer is a website that was, I think, created by Lucas. It tracks all the gates, and it'll show you approximately how long you have to wait for levels to rotate. FSC depth 27 boxes. I think this is referring to the 3 extra boxes on the left side. Basically, if you hit a button at the beginning of that floor, it'll spawn a ghost block towards the end of the level that'll give you access to 3 extra boxes that are hidden off to the side of the level. Fish McClishy's gun guides are just some other videos that explain details of guns in Spiral Knights. Slime Casino membership is an item you can buy that allows you to spend 50 times per roll at a slime casino. Ice Polyp. I'm not sure what this is referring to. Ice Polyp is a polyp in game. It's an enemy that can inflict freeze. I'm not sure if this is referring to like them being able to freeze lock you, because any freeze themed monster can do that. Really, I'm not sure what makes Ice Polyp so special. Seraph shield stacking. If you have a Seraphynx and you keep spamming the shield ability and unequipping and re-equipping it, the effect of the shields, like the visual effects, will keep stacking. It'll just lag out your game. Yours and your party members' games will just lag out. Soul Jelly is a rare monster that can spawn in place of a lichen. Ice Queen Palace depth 24 bush. I think this is referring to the invisible bush. Basically, in the first arena in Ice Queen, there is a bush that's... There is an invisible bush that still has collision, and it's just kind of weird because it's just like an invisible ball that you can run into, but it is still destructible, so it's worth removing it so that you don't run into it later. The Bolted V's incident was I don't remember when this was, but basically there was a mistake made by the GMs where they listed hundreds of prismatic Bolted V's for free on the supply depot. And like millions of them were spawned, like millions of Bolted V's were brought into the market. Gaming L Simple is another YouTuber. Newt damage. The neutralizer's damage is currently bugged, and it deals less damage than it should be dealing when compared to the biohazard. Tier 4 Shadowlayer. Shadowlayers are currently scaled down to Tier 4. Technically, it's actually Tier 4 defense, Tier 4 damage, and Tier 3 health, so it's like a little Tier 4, but still, yeah, it's scaled down to a Stratum 8. Button/statue finder. I think this is referring to a mod that will point out where buttons and statues spawn. Typically only used for FSC, but I guess it could be used in other missions as well. RMT is real money trading. It's basically people buying items with real money and not through in-game currencies, which is against terms of service. Flash charging is piece of tech where if you do an attack as soon as an attack speed buff ends, it'll basically duplicate the attack. Flash charging charge attacks, I believe, was patched out a while ago, but there are still forms of it that exist in the game. Apparently, if you do it while being stunned, apparently that still works, as stun also reduces your attack speed. Mixer flashing, basically, if you flash charge a disc gun, either Orbigun or Mixmaster, it'll basically it has a lot of weird side effects, but basically it bugs out enemies that die to it. Mist energy used to be a currency that existed long ago. It was I think how it worked was that you would gain 100 mist energy every day, and you would use that to use elevators or craft things. Normal damage mixer, whenever the overcharged Mixmaster was first released, it was bugged and it only dealt normal damage, not elemental damage. When the item's description listed it dealing elemental damage. Pandora's Box is a mod that it's basically the creative menu, but for Spiral Knights. It's a mod that gives you a menu with literally every item in the game, and it allows you to inspect items with your character, and if you spawn it also allows you to spawn in items, but the problem is if you spawn in an item, it'll immediately flag your account and you'll probably get banned. The Vanna clip, a bit vague, but I think this is referring to standing in the middle of his arena and clipping inside of his hitbox as he walks over you during his phase transition. Alt farming, a little vague as well, but basically there are several different ways you could use alt accounts to farm events to get multiple event rooms or enemies. For example, like Black Cats, you can use alts to duplicate Black Cats and get multiple at once. D25 wheel room, I'm not even sure why this is on the iceberg. It's just a room in the Firestorm Citadel. Silver Sap Lock, which is the freeze lumber. Basically, if you get hit by one, it'll freeze you in place, and you won't be able to move out of the way from the next attack, and it'll just keep hitting you over and over again. Guardian meta, I think it's a lockdown thing. If you play Guardian over Striker, I guess there's a meta for that. I wouldn't know, I don't play lockdown. RMT copy pasta, this is definitely just a Discord thing. I don't know what this is about. It's just probably some copy pasta someone made. Unbound protoguns. Protoguns are currently unobtainable, and the only unbound protoguns that exist are ones that people bought way back when an NPC had them that was removed. Chroma copy pasta manwave. I don't know what that means. Probably another Discord thing if I were to guess. Mid-stepping is a piece of sword tech that allows you to reposition yourself in the middle of a sword attack chain. You're able to do it with guns as well, but it's mainly a sword thing. Arena duping, it's basically the same thing as alt farming. It's the same idea where you use alt accounts to let an arcade run, and then you go to an arena and you just have several copies of that arena. It's basically the same thing as alt farming. 10th anniversary incident. I'm not sure what the incident in question is. I know that there was like a big project for the 10th anniversary, and that Grey Havens did absolutely nothing for Spiral Knights' 10th anniversary. I'm not sure if there was an actual incident that took place, but I do know that they were just not involved at all, if that's what this is referring to. 24-hour Vanathon. I'm gonna guess that someone farmed Vanaduke for 24 hours straight, but once again, this is like a specific thing that like happened to one guy. I wouldn't know anything about this unless I was that person. The sprite rename bug, I actually do know about this. Basically, there was a bug where if you renamed your battle sprite in the middle of a mission, it would basically reset the cooldowns, and it would allow you to spam battle sprite abilities in the middle of a run when you normally wouldn't be able to change your equipment. Original intro, I'm surprised this is this far down, but yeah, the original title screen was different. It showed just the clockworks and it had a different UI. I'm pretty sure this is just a piece of fan art that someone drew. I think I know what this is referring to, but I'm not sure. It's a little vague. Night Hair, I'm not sure what Night Hair is referring to, but I think it might be posts that Cherub made quite a while ago, where he talked about various parts of Spineless's art direction. And in that post, he did show a picture of like what a Spiral Knight would look like if they had regular facial features. It also shows what they would look like with hair. I guess this might be what this is referring to, or it might be something else. A wrong charge animation. I think this is referring to a little visual bug where sometimes if you lag while switching weapons and charging, it'll display you charging up your weapon in a different weapon's position. So it might show you like holding up a sword above your head like a bomb, but you're holding your sword. It's just a visual bug. Rise of Knights is another game that they tried making, but didn't get anywhere. I think I'm not actually sure about what exactly happened to Rise of Knights. I vaguely heard about it, and I've seen some of the concept art. Tier 4 Shadow Layer is on here twice. For some reason, it's up here and down here. I've already explained it. Mixer flashing is also here twice. I don't know why it's here. It's up here as well. I already talked about mixer flashing. Infinite alchemy range. I think what this is referring to is if you flash charge an alchemy, I think it has unlimited range. I might be wrong. I wouldn't know because I never flash charged back before it got patched. I'm not sure what endless game mode is referring to. It might be if you're in lockdown and you have both sides have the same score, the game will never end, and you're able to just fight and just do like PvP until one side gets an extra point or not. But as long as no one captures any of the points, the game will never end. The jelly green giant is a big jelly cube that you used to be able to encounter. I think in Jelly Farm 1, there's like a little area towards the top left of the level, which is blocked off, and it has a little mini boss. It's basically just Jelly King, but green. Gold enemies, there's a gold Trojan and a gold gun puppy, which used to be in some really old level, but it's since been removed. They still exist in the game, but the level that they spawn in doesn't appear anymore. FSC Tier 4 Slag. I think this might be referring to in the Rocket Puppy room in Darkfire Vanadu, because there are a couple of regular slag walkers, not Carnivons. Because almost all of the slags that spawn in Darkfire are all Carnivons, but there are a few slags that spawn in the Rocket Puppy room, so I'm not sure if that's what that's referring to. Sleep UVs, apparently I don't know what the deal with sleep UVs are, but they are like a really rare. I'm not sure if you're able to like not roll them, but I have seen people with sleep UVs on their armor. It might be the same case as like shields where like you can only craft them. But yeah, sleep UVs are like really rare, possibly unobtainable. I'm not sure what the deal is with sleep UVs. The Prestige leaderboard is, it's on the wiki. It basically just displays the top like 50 or so players and how much prestige they have. It hasn't been updated in years, or like most of the slots, most of the players on that leaderboard haven't been updated in years. It's very outdated, but it does still exist. I'm not sure exactly what shield flashing is, but there are a few bugs that revolve around unequipping your shield while doing shield bashes. That might be what this is referring to. I'm not sure though. Garrison Clep. If you stand at a specific part in the stairs during and at the bottom portion of the garrison, and then switch which haven lobby you're in, it'll spawn you underneath the stairs. Split damage bonus. I think this is referring to if you have a damage bonus active, it boosts your normal and elemental damage. If you're using, like, for example, a combustor, if you have a damage bonus, the damage bonus will apply to your normal damage and your elemental damage, so it's effectively twice as effective than if you're using a weapon with only one damage type. Water balloon crash. Again, I'm surprised this is this far down, but I think this is just like when people spam water balloons, it just lags out the game and crashes some people's games. Humbug hat drop rate. It's supposed to be a rare drop from humbugs during the Save Winterfest mission, but it's been bugged for many years. It doesn't drop. Tier 4 ice cream with commentary. Again, first of all, I'm not even sure why this is on the iceberg. And second of all, I'm surprised it's this far down. It's just another YouTube video. It's actually I'm surprised it's this far down because it's like one of the most popular ones. If you've seen the Spiral Knight section on YouTube, you've likely seen this video. Titanium Warriors is the bootleg version of Spiral Knights in like China or something. It's some like Chinese version of Spiral Knights that people have made. I'm not sure what prismatic ankle boosters are. I have heard of these a couple times. I think I'm gonna guess they're probably unobtainable or they're like extraordinarily rare. AOA plus Shiv plus Pot of Crowns tech. I'm not sure what exactly this means, but there is a tech, and I did mention this in my bomb ranking video. There is a tech where if you spam Ashwagni and Shiv, it procs fire really quickly. I'm not sure if Pot of Crowns does anything different. It's just a reskin of Ashwagni. But that might be what this is referring to. Boss 2 theme Umdews. I actually did see this, and this one's wrong. The Boss 2 theme is used. It's used in the Margrel fight and in the Ghost in the Machines fight. So it is used. So this one is just completely. It's not even correct. Multi-boxing is just it's just when you control multiple instances of Spiral Knights at once. Obviously against TOS. Prismatic Crest. There is a crest. There is like a crest texture in the game that's like it's like a prismatic. Valen uses it on her model. It looks very similar to the Proto Crest, but except it's prismatic. Starlight Cradle 2013. Starlight Cradle used to be in Spiral Knights. It was just like a regular level rotation in the game, and then they removed it. I'm not sure exactly why, but back then sleep was a really buggy status effect. So they removed it and then they reintroduced it quite a while ago with the new Starlight Cradle update when they added like Amputator and the new armor sets. Theta is basically Spiral Knights 2. It's just another version of Spiral Knights being developed. Zoom mod in vanilla. I've heard apparently there's like some weird zoom stuff in Lockdown, but I don't play Lockdown, so I wouldn't know. I'm not sure what either of these three mean. I mean, I'm not surprised that there's probably a black market Discord. It's just like, I wouldn't know this because I'm not a merchant and I just wouldn't look here. I wouldn't look in this direction anyways, but this doesn't surprise me. The Groundbreaker set is an obsolete armor set given to players who play during like the closed beta or something, just like way back, like OG players. Dreams and Nightmares skip. If you use Fang of Og, you can skip the cutscenes in Dreams and Nightmares, and it saves a lot of time. Chester 1 in 300. I thought it was lower than this, but yeah, there is a super rare cutscene that plays out in Treasure Vaults where the Mimic boss, his name is Chester, will just talk to you instead of fighting you. Yeah, here's the 1k boxes, no totem. This is just like how would I know this? This is just like some guy who probably opened a bunch of boxes without a totem. It's like nobody's gonna know about this unless you're that guy. Spike damage skip. This could be referring to a couple of different things. Firstly, if you dash onto a spike trap, it'll give you a little boost in speed. If you walk in between two spike traps diagonally, you can occasionally just walk through them without taking damage. And then there's another piece of tech where if you have a projectile over your character, like a brandish or like a gun, you can then dash over traps without taking damage. I'm not sure which one this is referring to, but there are a few things. A Guardian Armor Pack. I'm not sure if this is referring to something like specific, but the Guardian Armor Pack is like a cosmetic thing you can buy. I'm not sure why it's this far down. It's just in the supply depot. It's not hard to find. Invisible GM Surveillance. Yeah, the GMs do have certain armors that make them like basically invisible, or like ones that make, or they have like disguises as snipes and stuff. I highly doubt they do this anymore, but I did hear about this many years ago. Water Temple is an unused tile set that's in the game, and also there was a skybox that used to be in the game's files. I have vaguely heard about in-game marriages, but I haven't been there. I wouldn't know. Mixer Invulnerability. I think I mentioned this earlier, but if you flash charge a Mixer charge attack, it'll bug out enemies and players if you do it in Lockdown. Or if you hit yourself with an Echo Block, it'll like bug you out and you won't be able to revive. Like you or an enemy that you kill, it'll just stay bugged out. This is a visual bug I've seen with the tendril. I forgot what they're called, like the slime tendrils, but they're on the front. I'm not sure what exactly. I don't know if this is like a meme or whatnot, but I've seen screenshots of people like who flipped the model around. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but I do vaguely know what it's talking about. Another totem. This is like so vague, it's actually kind of upsetting. Because if I were to guess, this is probably someone who got a bunch of totems, who then got another totem. But once again, this is another case of like some really specific event that happened to like one player, and like there's no way to know that if you're not that one player. So I'm not even sure why this is on the list. But yeah, scene hopping, which was brought into light over a year ago actually. It's basically an exploit that allows you to teleport to various levels. I'm sure you've probably heard of it at this point. Illegal Margrel. I'm not sure if this is referring to the recent ban waves, or if there's some other event that happened in the past revolving Margrel. But recently, at least, what happened was that Greyhavens was banning people for just fighting Margrel because they didn't realize that ancient pages could be obtained at any point in the year. 1 million crown confetti. I'm gonna guess this is either A, some really absurdly rare piece of confetti like the gray confetti or one of the lightning ones. It might be like really expensive. Or B, someone probably listed a piece of confetti for 1 million crowns and now it's just like a meme. Black Ucat spawn. I'm gonna assume what this means. Like, I'm not sure what this means either, but I'm gonna assume that like someone probably got a screenshot of a black cat and a Mucat spawning like next to each other. Which again falls into the category of like some really specific event that happened that like nobody would know unless they're that person. 4th Tordrone event level. I wasn't sure what this meant. I looked at my scenes, my list of scene names, and there were only 3 levels listed there, so I'm going to assume that there's probably like an unused 4th level for the arena. Which also made me consider another point, which is that like I feel like this shouldn't be on here because this is a result of scene hopping. Whoever found this likely scene hopped to it, which is like I'm not sure why this should be here if you have to get this through scene hopping to begin with. Stratum 6 reskin drop. I have seen a screenshot of someone who got a piggy banker in Veneduk, which is like really bizarre because it's a reskin. It's like a promo item. And it just drops from like a regular treasure box. And I wasn't even sure if that was possible, but apparently that actually happened. Someone got a piggy banker from like a treasure box in Veneduk, which is just really weird. GM Angelic Raiment. I'm gonna guess it's probably referring to just one of the GM armors that already exist in the game. There are multiple different variants of like different GM armors that are in the files. Tier 1 channelers might be a result of, again, scene hopping, since you're able to scene hop into a different tiered version of a scene. People have scene hopped into like Tier 1 Veneduk or like Tier 3 like Crash Site, the tutorial level, so Tier 1 channelers is probably in that same category. Jellycube Arena is an unused... It's kind of like a soccer... It's like a soccer field. It has like 2 goals and a respawning jelly cube, and players are meant to shield bump it into one of the goals. It's like an unused level in the game. Once again, due to scene hopping, which is why I've mentioned like there are at least 3 things here, possibly more, that all derive from scene hopping. So it's like it's just taking up extra space. It should all just be condensed into scene hopping. Warp Dust. The item description of Warp Dust says that it tastes great in dip. I'm not sure if that's related, but that seems somewhat kind of what this is going on. Confection rerun 2026. I think this is just a meme. I think whoever made this is just like hoping that they rerun the confection box in 2026. Which by the way is the box that has the Mixmaster in it. They're never gonna rerun that box. Or if they do, they're gonna remove the Mixmaster from the prize pool. So yeah, that is basically everything that I know. A lot of these are really poorly worded, or they just shouldn't be here to begin with because it's like something that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, there are a handful of things that I would also like to see on here. Like, I'm kind of surprised that like no clipping, like there are at least 2 different levels in the game where you can like no clip out of bounds that still work. And also just like the clipping through gates and like Ghost in the Machines and Darkfire, that wasn't listed on here. I'm surprised Jolly Knight could have been on here. It's like a super obscure thing that I've never heard of until I found it in the files. Alright, well that's basically everything I know on this list. So feel free, because like I know some people have been trying to figure out some of these. So feel free to tell me which ones I've missed, because I genuinely don't know what a lot of these ones toward the bottom are.